First contact gone wrong. High Commander Zextrol of the Selther Dominion stood before the Grand Council, their crystalline form shimmering with carefully controlled frustration. The massive holographic displays surrounding them showed various scenes from Earth, a planet that should have been simple to analyze, yet had defied all logical understanding. Esteemed Council, Zextrol began, their voice resonating through the chamber. Our initial scans of Solar System 3742b revealed a Class C civilization barely capable of lunar travel. However, our deeper analysis has revealed concerning anomalies. The council chambers dimmed as new images appeared, humans doing what humans do best, being completely unpredictable. A man running into a burning building to save a cat. Another human jumping out of a perfectly functional aircraft for fun. A group of humans gathering in sub-zero temperatures to watch a sports game, many of them shirtless and painted in team colors. These beings, Zextrol continued, appear to actively seek out danger for what they term entertainment. They intentionally consume substances known to cause pain, calling them spicy foods. They voluntarily deprive themselves of sleep to watch what they call just one more episode. Their behavior patterns defy all known psychological models. The council murmured in distress. First Speaker Valthix raised a crystalline appendage. Surely their military forces must follow some form of logical structure. Zextrol's form flickered in what might have been embarrassment. That's another anomaly. First Speaker. Their military training includes what they call gender reveal parties, celebrations that occasionally result in forest fires, and something called mandatory fun days, which, despite the name, appear to be neither mandatory nor fun. Impossible, Second Speaker Krelith interjected. No species can survive such chaos. And yet, Zextrol responded, bringing up more footage. They thrive on it. Our preliminary assessment suggests that humans actively generate chaos as a defense mechanism. They appear to possess an extraordinary ability to not only survive in chaos, but to weaponize it. The council chamber erupted in concerned chatter. Zextrol waited patiently before continuing. I propose deploying our elite infiltration unit, the Shadow Weavers. Their mission will be to observe human society directly and identify potential weaknesses. First Speaker Valthix's crystalline form pulsed with worry. The Shadow Weavers, our most disciplined, methodical, and precise operatives, against a species that thrives on disorder. Precisely, Zextrol responded. Who better to understand these humans than our finest intelligence gatherers? The Shadow Weavers have never failed a mission in their 1,000 cycles of service. The council deliberated briefly before approving the mission. As Zextrol left the chamber, they couldn't shake the feeling that they might be making a terrible mistake. The Shadow Weavers excelled at infiltrating logical, ordered societies, but humans, they were anything but logical. On Earth, at that very moment, a teenager was becoming a viral sensation for teaching their goldfish to play soccer. A scientist was discovering a groundbreaking theorem while singing karaoke. And a grandmother was setting a new world record for skydiving while knitting a sweater. Just another typical day on the planet that was about to drive the galaxy's most elite infiltration team completely insane. The Shadow Weaver's ship entered Earth's atmosphere at precisely 300 hours local time, cloaked from all human detection systems. The team's leader, Agent Nix, reviewed their mission parameters one final time. Their disguises were perfect. Their behavioral algorithms were updated with all available human data, and their cover stories were flawless. The team consisted of 3 operatives: Nix, the strategic master; Vex, the cultural specialist; and Cora, the technical expert. Each had undergone extensive modification to appear human, down to the smallest detail. They had studied human behavior patterns for months. Nothing could go wrong. They materialized in what their intelligence indicated was a typical human settlement, a suburban neighborhood in Wisconsin. It was quiet, orderly, perfect for beginning their observation mission. And then they heard it. The distant sound of what humans called music, accompanied by enthusiastic shouting. "Impossible," Vex whispered, consulting their data. "It's Tuesday at 3 a.m. Humans should be in their sleep cycle." They followed the sound to find a house party in full swing, with humans of varying ages dancing, singing, and eating something called breakfast for dinner because, as they overheard, "Why not? Why not?" Nix repeated, their perfect composure cracking slightly. What kind of reason is why not? It was just the beginning of what would become the most confusing mission of their careers. The coffee shop incident. After a sleepless night observing the inexplicable Tuesday party, the Shadow Weavers identified what appeared to be a crucial hub of human activity, a building called Starbucks. According to their intelligence, humans gathered here in massive numbers every morning to consume a bitter stimulant beverage called coffee. This must be where they received their daily programming, Nix reasoned, watching the endless stream of humans entering and exiting the building. Some form of chemical control center. The three operatives entered the establishment, immediately assaulted by the overwhelming aroma of roasted beans and something called pumpkin spice. They joined the crew, carefully mimicking the behavior of other humans who were all staring at small rectangular devices. "Welcome to Starbucks," a cheerful barista called out. "What can I get started for you?" Nick stepped forward, having memorized what they believed to be a perfectly normal coffee order. "Yes, I would like one coffee, served at precisely 92.3 degrees Celsius, with exactly 27.5 milliliters of bovine lactate." The barista didn't miss a beat. "So, a hot coffee with cream. What size?" "Size?" Nix faltered, their perfect composure cracking. "The standard human size. Tall, grande, or venti?" Vex frantically consulted their cultural database. These measurements appeared to be in an unknown language. They whispered to Nix. "Venti," Cora interjected, choosing the word that sounded most official. "And I will have a..." They squinted at the menu board. "Unicorn Frappuccino." "Oh, sorry, that was a limited time offer," the barista replied. "But I can make you something similar. How about a dragon drink?" The Shadow Weavers exchanged alarmed glances. Dragons were mythological creatures in human culture. Why were they drinking them? And why did humans need so many options for liquid consumption? Before they could respond, a human behind them spoke up. "Hey, I'm running late for a meeting. Mind if I just grab a quick mobile order? It's under Jessica." The barista smiled and handed over a drink. The human took a sip and immediately began a complex series of expressions. "This is perfect. You're literally a lifesaver. I could kiss you right now." Nix's translator matrix nearly short-circuited. The human was threatening to perform a mating ritual with a stranger over a correctly prepared beverage. The situation deteriorated further when they received their drinks. Cora's dragon drink was pink. Dragons, according to their research, were not pink. Nix's coffee was hot, but came with something called a cardboard sleeve and a warning about potential scalding. Why would humans intentionally consume dangerous liquids? "Your drinks will be ready at the end of the counter," the barista called out, and the three operatives watched in horror as their beverages were handed to completely different humans. "Excuse me," Nix began, "but those mobile orders," the barista explained cheerfully. "Different queue. Different queue." The Shadow Weavers stood frozen, trying to process this information. There were multiple parallel queuing systems operating simultaneously, with no apparent logical structure. Some humans ordered through devices, others in person. Some gave their actual names, others provided obviously false ones like Batman and Queen of Everything. Just then, a human rushed in, clearly agitated. "I'm so sorry I'm late for the book club. Has anyone seen my emotional support water bottle?" The entire coffee shop erupted in conversation, with complete strangers offering advice, sharing similar stories about lost items, and debating the merits of various water bottle brands. The Shadow Weavers watched in astonishment as an impromptu community formed and dissolved in minutes, all over a missing container for holding water. "This is impossible," Vex muttered, their human disguise flickering slightly from stress. Their social structures reconfigure constantly, with no central authority or organizing principle. "Perhaps," Nick suggested desperately, "we should try another location, somewhere more orderly. Their centers of commerce, perhaps." As they left the coffee shop, Cora looked back at their untouched drinks, now being enjoyed by complete strangers who had accepted them without question. How do they survive like this? The chaos, the constant adaptation, the complete disregard for precise measurements. A human brushed past them, accidentally bumping Nex's shoulder. "Oh, sorry," they said, then paused. "Hey, love your look. Very alien chic. Where'd you get that skin shimmer effect?" The three operatives fled, their perfectly crafted mission protocols crumbling in the face of humanity's casual disregard for everything they understood about civilized society. Operation Human Resources. After the coffee shop debacle, the Shadow Weavers regrouped in their cloaked ship, determined to understand human power structures. They had identified what appeared to be a center of human authority, a mid-sized tech company called Innovative Dynamic Solutions Plus LLC. The name contains multiple power words, Nix noted. This must be where humans coordinate their civilization. Using their advanced technology, they fabricated perfect credentials and arrived Monday morning as new hires in the IT department. Their plan was simple: observe the command structure, identify the leaders, and understand how humans organize their society. The first sign that something was wrong came during new employee orientation. The human resources representative, Sarah, spent 45 minutes explaining something called Casual Friday and the complex social implications of wearing jeans to work. Business casual, Sarah explained, but not too casual. Professional casual. Smart casual. What is the difference between smart casual and business casual? Vex asked, their cultural database struggling to process this information. You know, Sarah waved her hand vaguely. Like casual but not weekend casual. Office casual. The three aliens exchanged confused looks. They had spent centuries mastering the art of infiltration, but human dress codes defied all logical analysis. Things only got more confusing when they reached their department. Their supposed superior, a man named Dave, was wearing what appeared to be a Hawaiian shirt with pictures of cats in space. No one seemed to find this unusual. "Okay, team," Dave announced. "We've got a mandatory fun team-building exercise at 2 p.m. Don't forget to fill out your personality type assessments before then. Oh, and someone's been stealing lunches from the break room again. Please label your food, people." Cora raised their hand. Question: why is the fun mandatory? Dave laughed. That's the spirit. Speaking of spirit, don't forget Spirit Week is coming up. Monday is Dress Like Your Favorite Meme Day. The Shadow Weavers spent their morning trying to understand the human power structure. The organizational chart showed clear hierarchies, but reality seemed to operate differently. The CEO's administrative assistant appeared to wield more actual authority than most vice presidents. The intern somehow had unlimited access to the snack room, while senior managers had to pay for coffee. During their lunch break, they witnessed a heated debate about whether hot dogs qualified as sandwiches. This discussion involved multiple departments and eventually reached the legal team, who issued a 3-page memo on the subject. The team-building exercise proved to be their breaking point. 20 humans were divided into groups and asked to build the tallest possible tower using only uncooked spaghetti and marshmallows. "This is clearly a test of engineering capabilities," Nix whispered to their teammates. They proceeded to construct a mathematically perfect structure using advanced architectural principles from 3 different galaxies. They lost to a team that had eaten half their marshmallows and built a wobbly tower that defied several laws of physics. This team was celebrated with paper certificates and instant coffee. But the true chaos revealed itself during an emergency all-hands meeting called to address what someone called the Great Office Plant Incident of 2025. Someone, the office manager announced gravely, has been overwatering Barbara's succulent. The resulting investigation involved more scrutiny than most galactic security operations. Theories were proposed, alliances were formed and broken, and someone created a complex spreadsheet tracking everyone's movements near the plant over the past 3 weeks. "I don't understand," Vex whispered to Nyx. "They treat their food storage security as a joke, but this decorative vegetation merits a full investigation." Just then, a message appeared on the company Slack channel. "Pizza in the break room. First come, first served." The Shadow Weavers watched in horror as the entire office, including senior management, abandoned the plant investigation mid-sentence and sprinted toward free food. Their carefully crafted theories about human power structures crumbled as they witnessed a vice president and a junior analyst wrestling over the last slice of pepperoni. The festival fiasco. After the corporate infiltration disaster, the Shadow Weavers received an urgent directive from High Commander Zextrol: investigate human mass gatherings. Their intelligence had detected a massive convergence of humans called Cosmic Groove Music Festival, which seemed like the perfect opportunity to understand how humans organize large-scale events. They could not have been more wrong. "The humans are voluntarily sleeping in small fabric shelters," Cora reported, scanning the festival campground. "Despite having access to proper dwellings, they're paying currency to sleep on dirt. Perhaps it's a military training exercise," Vex suggested hopefully. Their theory evaporated as they watched a group of humans covered in glitter walk past, carrying a giant inflatable unicorn pool float. Despite there being no pools at the festival, the Shadow Weavers had crafted perfect festival disguises: vintage band t-shirts, carefully distressed jeans, and the apparently mandatory flower crowns. They blended in perfectly until someone asked them which acts they were most excited to see. "Acts," Nyx repeated, consulting their briefing materials. "Yes, we are most anticipating the scheduled performances of all of them." This somehow turned out to be the exact right answer. The humans squealed in delight. "Oh my God," saying, "You have to come to the silent disco with us later." Silent disco. Vex's translator matrix struggled with the contradiction. Before they could process this, they found themselves swept into something called a conga line, which appeared to be humans voluntarily restricting their movement patterns while chanting, "This is awesome." Their attempts to understand the purpose of this ritual were interrupted by a collective scream from the crowd. "The main stage is starting," someone yelled. The Shadow Weavers watched in bewilderment as thousands of humans rushed toward a massive structure emitting frequencies that their sensors classified as "sick beats, bro." The crowd moved as one organism, yet simultaneously in complete chaos. "Look at their coordination," Nyx observed. "They're simultaneously filming with their devices, jumping to the music and consuming beverages, all while screaming lyrics in approximate unison. But how do they decide when to lift and wave their appendages?" Cora wondered, watching the crowd raise their arms in waves. Their confusion peaked when the music suddenly stopped, and a voice announced, "Everyone get low. Get low. Get low." To their horror, the entire crowd began descending toward the ground in what appeared to be a synchronized squatting maneuver. "It's some kind of combat training," Vex whispered urgently. "They're preparing for." The beat dropped. The crowd exploded upward in a simultaneous jump that their sensors registered on the Richter scale. Caught in the middle, the three aliens found themselves inadvertently participating in what humans called getting absolutely hyped. Things only got more chaotic when they discovered the food area. Humans were standing in enormous lines for something called artisanal grilled cheese and gourmet street tacos, bypassing perfectly functional nutrition dispensers. "They're waiting 2 hours for a sandwich," Cora asked incredulously, "when they could achieve optimal caloric intake in seconds." "The longer the line, the more they want to join it," Nyx observed. "It defies all known laws of efficiency." Their mission nearly fell apart entirely when they encountered the festival art installations, a giant mechanical fire-breathing dragon that dispensed kombucha. a pyramid made entirely of recycled smartphones that played lo-fi beats, a quantum meditation sphere that turned out to be a ball pit for adults. But the true crisis came during what the humans called a rainbow glitter explosion dance party. In the chaos, Vex's environmental shield malfunctioned. Their human disguise flickered, briefly revealing their true crystalline form. Instead of panic, the revelation was met with enthusiasm. "Dude, your holographic costume is amazing. What kind of LEDs are you using? This is giving me major space raver vibes. You have to let me take a TikTok with you." Before they could stop it, they had gone viral. #Crystallalian Raver was trending, spawning hundreds of conspiracy theories, costume tutorials, and dance remixes. Their perfect cover was compromised by becoming, ironically, too perfect. The ultimate weapon. The emergency session of the Selther Dominion's Grand Council was unlike any in their 10,000-year history. High Commander Zextrol stood before them, their crystalline form flickering with barely contained distress as they presented the Shadow Weaver's final report. "Esteemed Council," Zextrol began, "I regret to inform you that the Earth mission has been compromised." The massive holographic displays activated, showing a montage of the Shadow Weaver's experiences, the Tuesday 3 a.m. breakfast party, the coffee shop chaos, the corporate office's inexplicable power dynamics, and finally, the festival incident that had turned their elite operatives into social media sensations. "Our most advanced infiltration team," Zextrol continued, "has been reduced to what humans call influencers. They have 2.5 million followers on something called Instagram. They're being offered sponsorship deals for something called RGB gaming chairs." The council chambers erupted in confused murmurs. First Speaker Val Thix raised a crystalline appendage. "But surely we've identified their weaknesses, their power structures, their military capabilities." Nick stepped forward, their once perfect composure now permanently altered by their time on Earth. "Honorable Council, you don't understand. Their greatest strength is that they have no logical structure. They thrive on chaos. They intentionally seek it out." "Impossible," Second Speaker Kralith interjected. "No civilization can function without order." "Function," Vex laughed, "a habit they'd picked up on Earth. They don't just function. They excel. They hold meetings to discuss why they're having meetings. They stand in line for hours to buy limited edition collectible cups that they use to hold unlimited refill beverages. They organize flash mobs in their military installations." Cora activated their data slate, displaying more footage. "They work jobs they hate to buy things they don't need. They create problems to solve them for fun. They invented something called Harker, which is just making simple movement unnecessarily complicated. And yet, the council leaned forward. And yet they've achieved things we thought impossible. They solve complex equations while sleep-deprived and fueled by energy drinks. They make revolutionary discoveries because someone said they couldn't. Their spacecraft work partially because their engineers refuse to accept that they shouldn't." The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Zextrol stepped forward again. "We've analyzed their defense capabilities extensively. They have no unified planetary shield, no consolidated military force, not even a coherent global government. But they have something far more powerful. They have chaos," Nix explained. "Beautiful, brilliant chaos. They'll face extinction-level threats with memes. They'll solve energy crises because someone made a bet. They'll achieve faster-than-light travel because someone posted, 'Humans will never reach the stars' on social media." "Are you suggesting," First Speaker Val Thix asked incredulously, "that we cannot conquer Earth because they're too random?" "I'm suggesting," Zextrol replied, "that any attempt to impose our order on their chaos would be like trying to organize a tornado. They'd probably turn our invasion into a reality TV show, make our battle formations into dance trends, and write romantic fan fiction about our warships." As if to prove their point, the displays showed their latest intelligence. Humans had started a petition to make the Crystal Alien Ravers the headline act at next year's festival. There were already merchandise lines, tribute bands, and someone had written a rock opera about the whole thing. The council deliberated for what felt like an eternity. Finally, first speaker Val Thix made their declaration. Earth is hereby classified as a Category X civilization, too chaotic to conquer, too unpredictable to control, and far too dangerous to ignore. Our recommendation is to establish diplomatic relations immediately, if only to contain their influence. Actually, Nix interjected, they've already scheduled first contact for next Tuesday. Apparently, someone named Dave from the office took the initiative. He's organized an intergalactic potluck. We're supposed to bring a dish to share. The council stared in horror at the final piece of intelligence, a casual email chain discussing dietary restrictions, plus /1 invitations, and whether crystal-based life forms were gluten-free. And somewhere on Earth, a teenager was already designing a TikTok dance for the upcoming alien diplomatic ceremony. A Reddit thread was debating what snacks to serve at first contact, and humanity continued doing what it did best, turning the impossible into the inevitable through sheer, unstoppable, beautifully chaotic determination. The Shadow Weavers, for their part, had decided to stay on Earth. They'd started a successful YouTube channel reviewing human snack foods, became cryptocurrency entrepreneurs, and were considering opening a combination cat cafe/alien cultural center. After all, as humans would say, why not?